Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the 1K World Cup 2026, presented by Joke. We are back with the start of the quarterfinals weekend, and it is going to be France 2 taking on Taiwan to see who will be continuing on in this tournament and who will be eliminated at this stage. As always, my name is Sparky, and I'll be doing a bit of a solo job here in the commentary booth today as we get this one underway here. If you've kept track of the tournament so far, there are no bans, there are no protects. We're going to do the rolls, and we're going to get right on into it. So, judging by the way things have gone, it looks like Taiwan has won the roll 86-38, so they'll be the ones deciding where we go to first. New map pool for the weekend. A little bit harder than last week's, but with both these teams, I imagine there'll be some interesting decisions to be made here, given the fact that they can't remove anything from this pool. So we'll have to see what they decide to go into. And for us, we just gotta wait for Taiwan to make their first pick here. A very strong complement of players, unlucky with that first round draw. Same thing for France. I mean, it was pretty tough matchups for both of these two teams going into round of 16, so you might get a chance to see what these two teams are made of here in a bit more of a even matchup. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna go for Rice 1 to start things off here. I say that, I see Hybrid 2 being the chat message, so I'll retract what I said. It is going to be Hybrid 2. Start off with one of our returning maps. And then we gotta see who is in for this one. So right now it's just waiting on the players to get situated. It will be France in slots 1 and 2, Taiwan in slots 3 and 4. So right now just getting the lobby logistics situated. Looks like the players have figured it out, so we'll be getting into this one before too long. I was saying it's gonna be Haru and sorry about that. It's gonna be Haru and Jerem for France going up against Wii and Clock for Taiwan here. Taiwan does have a full complement of 4 players that they can switch in and out of. France has 3 players. They have Poketwan in reserve. Be interested to see if they're around, if we'll see them make an appearance at any time. And for Taiwan, they have Ligun and Chow Shark as well, but there are questions for another time. We're going to be getting into this Hybrid 2 pick to start things off. First team to 5 points will see themselves to the semifinals. Loser will be eliminated from the tournament. This is the start of the losers bracket, and Haru with an early drop right out of the gate here to give Taiwan a bit of a cushion to work with. Jerem falls as well. A full combo reset on the side of France, not handling this introduction all too well. And already the lead ballooning to about 33,000 points in favor of the Taiwanese players. Both of them holding on to really high accuracy here. 99.9 from Clock, and we not too far behind, 99% for them. So all the cushion in the world to play with at the moment as we make our way out of this introduction. Taiwan now crossing that 400 combo mark, going to be able to stretch this advantage. Jerem not too far behind, but the accuracy discrepancy between the two teams really coming to a head here. And it's no wonder why Taiwan would go for something like this to start things off. A great level of consistency despite Wii and Haru finding misses on the transition into this Ki section. Clock falling from their perch, a rush of hundreds and 200s there on one of the 1/4 transitions, but still holding on to the only full combo left in the lobby. Everybody else finding misses through that last section. A quarter of the map left to go. Still a near insurmountable lead for the Taiwanese. As we approach this outro, Wii finding a couple of misses, but I mean, the damage has already been done. They can afford to, I don't want to say take their foot off the gas pedal a little bit, but with the way Clock has been performing in this lobby, despite picking up a couple misses here on the outro, a little bit of a misread on some of these alternating triplet streams, it is a convincing win for an opening pick for Taiwan as they make it 0-1 here. Very strong starts for Taiwan. France not too far behind. It's just one of those maps where if you start things off on the wrong foot, you just find misses all over the place. And when those Ki sections really start going, it can be easy to get lost among some of the more technical sections. And they're going to opt to go for Hybrid 3 now. One of the few maps that isn't in any of the previous packs, made as a bit of a warm-up by a former player. Alrighty, so bit of a shorter map in the grand scheme of things for this pool, just shy of 2 minutes. You guys see the first appearance of Poketown for France. Jerem stays in. Both players stay put for Taiwan. Wee and Clock going to be contesting on this one. A bit more straightforward than something like Hybrid 2. Very bursty at times. Some interesting run transitions, but relatively straightforward. Is going to be about controlling the LNs, interspersed in between at times. As we see a double miss coming through from France, and similar situation to Hybrid 2 here, where Taiwan just keeping it cleaner through the introduction, just building up this advantage to work with. And not really much the French can do from this position. Just needing to hope that there's some capitulation from the other side. We does find a drop on that last roll transition into the second third of the map, but Pokemon trades it back this time around. 55,000 points in the good is Taiwan on this first French pick. And as we cross into the back half of the chart, it is 117,000 points in favor of Taiwan for the moment. With a third of the map left to go, Jerem finding in her drop, just not able to get a foothold. That big 1-6 burst, catching up both Pokemon and Wii. But I mean, if you're Taiwan, you're taking these trades all day, every day. Clock still above that 99% mark, the only one showing any real comfort on this map pool so far. Yeah, they found their misses here and there, but just able to keep them relatively clean in comparison to everybody else in the lobby, and holding on to these FCs for as long as they have. Just making quick work of the lobby, and 153,000 points. The margin of victory for that one as Taiwan takes the first break point in this match to make it 0-2 now. Yeah, 979k, basically in a league of their own, 100,000 points above everybody else. And Taiwan gonna offer the speed pick, it looks like. It's a hard little moniker to read sometimes. You just see the SP, but I think the intention is clear here. Relatively straightforward chart, longer than the speed pick from round of 16. It really is just a gallop check. At the end of the day, can you handle those 3-note bursts that get interspersed? They're kind of littered into the runs as well, so you're having to constantly speed up and slow down at different times. And it can be a little jarring to read through at times. But with the way Taiwan has been playing, this is going to be our first real introduction to their overall rice accuracy. So, it has to be clean from France if they want to get a breakpoint back. Not out of the realm of possibility, but definitely a bit of a hill to climb now. Getting over that first breakpoint. We're going to see Hara check back in, Poketown staying in for this one as well. Looks like the players are ready. We're going to get into this third map of this best of 9. Gonna see if France can answer back, or if Taiwan can really start stretching this advantage here. Going through this introduction, I was say no real major mistakes to speak of, but Haruo picking the first miss in the lobby. Pokemon falls not too far behind, and same as the last two maps, just Taiwan having these cleaner introductions, and the fact that they don't have as many LNs to worry about isn't really going to affect their accuracy all that much. Because we've seen what players like Clock can do when just given a full string of rice notes to run through it. I mean, 99.8% accuracy, just towering over everybody right now. And when you have somebody like Wii in support, where they're able to lend a supporting score, yeah, they find a couple of drops here and there, but I mean, ultimately, not a lot of damage being done, not really scratching the armor here. As we continue on, these strings get trickier and trickier to read as they begin to change the amount of notes inside of them, the doublets into the triplets. And right now, just no answers from the French, with half the map left to go. To be fair, I don't think this is something that they would have willingly picked into against Taiwan, so no harm, no foul on that front. But gonna need to find something here and fast if they want to notch a point on the board here, because this one is well and truly done and dusted. One FC left in the lobby, Clock just on an island by themselves for the moment. It's just very interesting towards the tail end of these maps that the accuracy falls. It's like, I think they're just pushing so hard in the intro that they just run out of gas at the end, and you see the 200s begin to come down. It's like just trying to hang on for dear life. It's like the job's done. They're a full 2% ahead of their next closest, in this case, compatriot in Wii. It's like there's not really much to worry about here, as Taiwan make it 3 to the good to start this match off. And on we go. France up for the next pick. Gotta see what they decide to go for. Maybe a bit of a Hail Mary, something like the SV chart. It's like interesting to read through if they put any time into practicing it. It definitely plays a lot differently than last weekend, so potentially there. I wouldn't want to get into a rice accuracy battle against somebody like Clock. Maybe the LNs, LN2 potentially. Oh, it's gonna be rice 3. So we're gonna see our first pure rice pick. Not that the speed doesn't count as like a rice 4, technically, but stylistically, a little bit easier to digest for some players, less physically demanding at times. No substitutions here as we wait for the map to start. Actually, no, we are going to see a substitution. So Chow Shark going to step in for Wii on this one. Give them a chance to show off what they are made of on the big stage. Poketwan and Haruo are going to stay in for France. Alrighty, so fourth map of this best of 9. Taiwan looking to try and make this a match point situation. France looking to try and claw one on the board here. still not out of the realm of possibility, but with the way Clock has been playing, they need to find an answer to them, somebody that can neutralize that score for as long as humanly possible. It's like, it's doable. They start off with really high accuracy and then they fall into the scores we would expect around that like mid 99% range. So if somebody can just stay in catching distance, potentially could give France an opening. They just need to keep these drops to an absolute minimum for right now. What a trade on the top half of the lobby. Pokemon and Chow Shark going to find misses at the same time. Pokemon taking a little bit more damage in the exchange, with both of them falling below that 99% mark. Chow Shark finding a second drop now, and now there's an opportunity, but Harua falls. The one keeping Clock in check on the bottom half of the lobby now finds a miss as well. But it's only 5,000 points. It's not stretching as far as we've seen in maps prior. And right now, the lowest accuracy does belong to Taiwan. Chow Shark with that 96%. But Harua finding the drops, traded back this time around. And it's a massive drop on the runs for Chow Shark, transitioning out of the first half of the map. And now France has 20,000 points to work with here. Can they hang on through the second half? Meanwhile, you have Clock on the other side, 100% accuracy, basically. It's like, who can stop this player? But Chow Shark finding a couple of drops, not answered back by the French. 47,000 points now for France to work with. And a 3% accuracy deficit for them to claw back. Not impossible, but it seems like Harua has found their footing, being able to stabilize, have a player above that 99% mark. That being said, finding a couple of bad judgments, still holding on to the combo, but Pokemon finds a drop. Going into the last quarter of the map, it's still 70,000 points in favor of France. It's going to take a massive miss at this point, but this much of a cushion? I mean, it's shrinking. It's 50,000. It was 70. But with an eighth of the map left to go, it's 48. Down below that 50,000 mark, but Chow Shark finding another drop, gonna increase a little bit before Harua finds yet another drop. 45,000 points, and for a map being this late on, that was a little bit close for comfort, potentially. If it wasn't for that massive cushion, then might have had something to worry about. But France going to be able to find their first point in this match, make it 1-3, put away the brooms most importantly, and get themselves a point on the board. And, you know, the casual 17 run from Clock, 999. You know, just normal things. Just normal rice accuracy nowadays. You know. So now going back to Taiwan's pick. There's still plenty of good picks for them to go into. They have 2 more hybrids, they have 2 LNs. And I mean, seeing Clock's accuracy, it's like, honestly, hardest maps in the pool seem to be no problem for them. The only question mark really is, who practiced the SV? Has anybody practiced the SV? I would like to see some SV. The one good thing about this tournament not having bans is the fact that we actually have an opportunity to see the SV every week, so we'll have to wait and see what the pick is here from Taiwan. See if we have any more cameo appearances. Taiwan still has Ligon, who hasn't played a map, so if they are around, wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to throw them in for a map or 2. Give them some experience. But for right now, LN1 going to be the pick here for Taiwan. And with Wii back in the lobby, the duo that's gotten the points for Taiwan, potentially back in the building here. And they're a pretty short map in the grand scheme of things. TV size, a minute 25 seconds, so not a lot of room for error. You see Jerem check back in for Poketwan. Alright, so 5th map of this match now underway. Gonna be over basically in an instant clock. Finding the first drop, Jerem trading it back, but the opening accuracy exchanges between the two teams going in favor of Taiwan. A pretty clean drop overall on the side of Taiwan, but both French players losing their SCs very early on. With a map this short, not a lot of opportunity to get back up over that 400 combo cap, if they can even approach it at all. The three-way miss going into the second quarter of the map. A full lobby reset now as Clock joins everybody else, but is 70,000 points in favor of Taiwan by virtue of this accuracy. 93% for both French players as things stand. Both Clock and Wee holding on to the S ranks. But that being said, they're finding some pretty significant drops as well on their side. Not having the best of times with this chart in the grand scheme of things in comparison to some of the other maps that they have been playing. So something to watch out for future rounds if you are watching this team. A third of the map still left to go here, but it's 130,000 points in favor of Taiwan. Another full combo reset for the French here. As we continue on, just the S ranks versus the A ranks here. There's not really much more to be said. We're approaching this outro. 275,000 points, the margin of victory for Taiwan. And they're going to be able to make it a match point situation, 4-1 now. With France up to pick. This is do or die time now for them. What do they want to go into here? Alright, so just waiting on this pick for France now. What did they decide to go for? Normally I would say go for the hardest maps, but honestly Taiwan's been able to match them in terms of physicality and just being able to handle these harder patterns as this match has gone on. Yeah, LN1 looked a little messy at times, but it looks like they're gonna opt to go for Hybrid 4 by the looks of it, so potentially just catching up on messages here. Probably gonna see the IRC update in a little bit. Alright, well, I don't see any question marks, so I'm thinking it is going to be Hybrid 4. We're going to get right on into this one. Poketwan and Jerem, last stand for France. We and Clock for Taiwan. This dynamic duo that has really shown up and shown out here in this match. And Pokemon finding the first drop for France, taking a bit of accuracy damage as well through this opening salvo. There's players' first introduction to these triplets and doublets. We go from those 1/4 patterns to these 1/6, 1/8 crunch patterns that are really difficult to transition into if you're not used to hitting that quickly. And we're seeing that come to fruition here. Yeah, like these hybrids are usually a step above everything else in the map pool. So, I mean, credit to France for picking one of the harder maps, but I mean, I was about to say Clock has looked nigh invincible, but I mean, they're not immune to these messy transitions halfway through the chart. Still one of his accuracy, but it's one of those where it's like you would just want to see an FC run potentially, especially going into these later rounds where you just have absolute sharpshooters all over the place. But I mean, future looks bright for Taiwan. I would be very scared to play them in the semifinals. As things stand, last 1/8 of the map left to go here. An impossible lead to come back from. It is going to be a 5th point for Taiwan as this outro begins to rain down. And a valiant effort by the French picking up the singular point in this match, managing to put away the brooms, avoid the sweep. Hopefully they had fun playing in this tournament, but this will be the end of the line for them as Taiwan punches their ticket into the losers semifinals at the expense of France 2 by a score of 5-1. But that will do it for the opening map, or the opening match rather, of the quarterfinals weekend. There's still plenty of more action to come. A lot of very exciting matchups planned for the weekend, but for now we'll go ahead and take our leave for now. Congratulations to Taiwan for being the first team to punch their ticket into the semifinals. Commiserations to France too. Like I said, hopefully they had a ton of fun playing in this tournament. It is definitely an achievement to even make it into this bracket given the quality of the players that are in it. So nothing to be ashamed of there as we take a look at the bracket for a brief moment. Taiwan, like I mentioned, first ones into loser semis, and all the future matchups coming through later on this weekend. For now, like I said, we'll take a bit of a break here. We'll be back in about 2 hours at 18 UTC. It is going to be Greece taking on Croatia. Bit of a, I think, a last-second reschedule. So, schedule looks a little funky here. But outside of that, that'll be the last match for Saturday. We pick things up again on Sunday. 0 UTC on the clock, right on the turn of the hour. Turn of the day, even. It will be United States taking on Australia for that to kick things off. And then a whole slate of matches in just a couple hours after that. So definitely don't want to miss it. But until then, we'll catch you guys later.